Hey, this is Barrett from Portakeeper, and as you can tell, my espresso bar is a little bit more congested than it was yesterday. Um, Originally just been looking at this Turin grinder, but I wanted to start comparing it to some other grinders. So today, the two that I'm really going to be looking at is the Turin versus my all-time favorite, the Atom 75. The Atom actually comes in a 60 millimeter, 65 millimeter, 75 millimeter. This is the 75. I've tried a lot of grinders. This one's hands down my favorite. It just works. It's a perfect burr size to not have a lot of retention, but you still get that nice surface area. So comparing that to the Turin, it's about 10 millimeters smaller of a burr in the Turin. And I'm really looking for how complex of a cup of coffee can I get out of them. So I've already preloaded 18 grams into the Turin. I weighed it out using my scale. And on the Atom, I'm actually going to grind into the portafilter and weigh it and make sure that we have 18 grams because I want an 18 gram to 18 gram extraction. I dialed both of these grinders in this morning, gave them a light sweep. I cleaned out the Atom and pulled one shot. So it's pretty much, I don't have any old grounds in it, we'll put it that way. So let's start with the Turin. The bellows. Make sure we get that full 18. I have my bottomless portafilter. And I'm gonna dose it. Since this is a pardon me, a heat exchanger machine, I'm going to give it a purge. Get all the residual heat out. And let's pull a quick shot. Coming out the bottom real nice. It's a little off center, but I didn't really do any WDT or anything like that. I mean, this is just straight out the grinder. We had the dosing cup, and we're getting that amazing cup of coffee. I mean, it's just amazing. Perfect shot in terms of the color that I'm getting out of it. So let's give this a wipe. And on the Atom, I think it's going to go a little bit too much for these beans, so that's why I want to weigh it. So if it's the first shot of the day, what I typically like to do is I have this set on 0.3 seconds, and I'll actually get a bump, usually a little bit more than that, and I'll just dump it. That way I'm getting all the old grounds out of it. And let's grind a dose. So we're at 17. Let's top it off. $18 on the dot. So again, no WDT, just a straight tamp. And let's see what happens. Again, nice and centered. Looks like a nice even extraction. I could maybe adjust down a hair, but it was perfect this morning. So we have two shots side by side. Just put them like that. And I am going to move the camera, so hang on. You can see this one's a little bit darker. It's been settling for a minute. The crema is settled. This one will too. They're fairly fresh beans, some Mexican beans. So let's give it a quick taste test. See if we can tell a difference. Let's start with the Turin first. Smells really rich, and that's one thing that I really like about the Atom. This thing can bring out the richness that I can't sometimes get out of this Super Jolly that well. And my K30, it's got some fairly new burrs in it, so it's just kind of not broken quite enough yet, I don't think. So it smells amazing, lots of caramel. Very complex, very rich. Caramely, got those burnt spices that I always kind of look for in some good espresso. And this is pretty hot still. This is the Atom. So what's really interesting is this one has a lot more bite to it, but this one feels a lot more balanced. So I don't know, they're just very different levels of complexity. Yesterday with the Super Jolly, it just wasn't near as good of a shot. Hands down, this Turin was outperforming the Super Jolly. Today, I'm going to say that this Atom is better than the Turin, but man, I'd drink both of these cups. Both of these cups are just amazing. Yeah, you get a lot more of the pit fruit, a lot fruitier. And this one, exact same bean, same dose, same everything, except for the grinder. We're getting more like that rich, kind of like a boozy cherry or something, where it has kind of like that bourbon undertone, but a lot of cherry. Where you're getting some of that pit fruit in this too, but this just seems to have that a little bit more rich. Let's give it one more try. Boy, I don't know. I'm still gonna go with the Atom, but that's a pretty hard one for me to say which one I actually would prefer. I don't think I'd really turn either of these down. So let me know if you have any more comments or if there's anything else that you'd like to see on these two grinders. I did a review on the Atom 75. It's a written review about a month ago maybe. And this is my main grinder for my main home use. And the rest of the grinders I use is for this espresso bar in my office. The Turin, you could tell today, was quite a bit slower. I'd have to go back and look at the video to see about how long it took to grind 18 grams. With the Atom, it takes 3 seconds. 3 seconds for 18 grams. So those larger burrs, you're going to gain a lot of speed. No bellows, no nothing. So you will have a little bit of retention. Like I said, I like to just give it a bump, throw it out. It's really not that many grounds. I've done the math. Per year, per year it's about less than a pound of beans that I throw out. So I throw away that many beans, unfortunately, just doing tests like this. So let me know in the comments if you have any more questions. The next thing I'm probably going to be looking at is this K30. It has very similar size burrs to the Turin and the Super Jolly. They're not a compatible burr, but they are almost the same size, within 1 millimeter. So very common. You'll see this in espresso shops all over the world. This K30 kind of took over the Super Jolly for being that shop grinder. It's an on-demand grinder. I'm not using bellows again. I know it's going to have a lot more retention. And unlike the Super Jolly one, I want to do a full 18 grams out of both. So check back probably tomorrow and I'll post a video on that. Catch you soon.